What was the mystery behind Chevrolet banned Porcupine engine? It was an engine so dangerous NASCAR buried it, so radical Chevy lied about its power, and so secret even Ford couldn't kill it. This is the shocking true story of the Porcupine, the ban engine that refused to die. What if I told you the mystery motor didn't die, it was rebuilt? It was rebuilt. It's the Mid-S, and Chevrolet is locked in a fierce battle for horsepower. Supremacy, the legendary Big Block engine La Variant, emerges as a high-performance powerhouse-equipped and iconic muscle cars like the Camaro, Chevelle, El Camino, and even the Corvette got the L. We will come back to that another time. Behind its roaring success lies a shadow of mystery. Whispers of a banned version the so-called Porcupine engine have fueled decades of speculation. Was this engine truly outlawed by NASCAR? Did Chevrolet underrate its horsepower to keep it under the radar? And how does the elusive connect to the legendary mystery motor at S? A story of innovation, secrecy, and the relentless pursuit of speed. Imagine a dark alleyway on the side of Chevrolet factory. A group of elite engineers are burning documents, and after GM's racing ban with one salvaging a blueprint, they thought the Porcupine was extinct. But deep in Detroit's underworld, a shadow factory was already revving to life. The birth of the Big Block, the Chevrolet Cubic and VFOs, introduced in January of midway through the model year. But maybe the proper place to begin is with the near-legendary NASCAR mystery engine of C, our feature on the mystery motor. Although the mystery Mark and the Mark are of two different engine families, they are products of the same development path and share many of the same features. But while the mystery engine effectively dead-ended in was the first in a long and successful series of Big Block versus opening a chapter in the Chevy performance story that is still being written, the most obvious element of the mystery engine that was carried forward to the and all the Big Block Chevy versus that followed was the distinctive caned valve cylinder head above by spaying the intake and exhaust valves relative to each cylinder. The valve diameters could be larger and the port angles straighter, improving airflow with the valve covers removed. The valves and rocker arms on this novel setup appeared to be pointed in every direction, inspiring the nickname Porcupine Head. Early on, at some point, the engine family picked up the name Big Block due to its larger bore spacing and taller deck height than the original Chevy Vaca small block. There were actually 3 cubic inverses introduced in early, including the lead for the Corvette and full-size cars, and the lead for a special version of the Chevelle SS known as the Zoll. Featured a in-bore and an in-stroke, and were marketed under the name Turbojet, rated at horsepower at FRPM. The L was a serious piece of equipment, boasting 4 bolt main caps, a Holley for barrel carb and toe compression ratio, and a solid lifter camshaft. The LV4, the GHL, was essentially the same stout package, but with a less aggressive camshaft profile and hydraulic lifters, and it earned a horsepower rating. The In the Zan extensively equipped machine was dressed out with a chrome air cleaner lid, and valve covers only were built. Finally, there was an L version in milder tune for the big car's Biskin Belier Impala, with a toe compression ratio and horsepower introduced at mid-year. The was not produced in massive numbers, but it spawned an extensive line of Insid versus 4 and beyond. A CID version appeared in, and in its final state of production development decades later, the Big Block evolved into the L-Sid Vortec used in Chevy trucks. But the story has unended yet, though there was intended to be a production powerhouse. Rumors suggest that Chevrolet had a more radical version in development, a high-performance variant that was supposedly too powerful for its time, but before it could reach its full potential, it was abruptly sidelined. Why Chevrolet's NASCAR dominance in the S? During the S, Chevrolet emerged as a dominant force in NASCAR thanks to its powerful engines like the mystery motor and the later marked Big Block. While the Porcupine engine wasn't the star of the show, it played a supporting role in Chevrolet's racing success, contributing to the brand's reputation for building reliable, high-performance engines. Drivers like Junior Johnson, David Pearson, Ned Jarrett, and Buck Baker piloted Chevrolet-powered cars to victory, showcasing the brand's strength on the track. Junior Johnson's wins and David Pearson's win championship season in, and Ned Jarrett's victories in were all testaments to Chevrolet's engineering prowess. However, the Porcupine was ultimately overshadowed by the which was better suited for NASCAR's high-speed demands. NASCAR's homologation rules, fierce competition from Ford SFE and Chrysler S Hemi and Chevrolet S, focus on the as its primary racing engine limited the is role in stock car racing. Outlawed was the Porcupine engine powerful? One of the biggest questions surrounding the Chevrolet Porcupine engine is whether it was truly banned from racing. Some sources claim that NASCAR outlawed it outright before it could see widespread competition, fearing it would give Chevrolet an unfair advantage. But is that the whole story? In the early S, NASCAR had strict homologation rules that required engines used in racing to be available in production vehicles. Chevrolet had already faced scrutiny with its mystery motor, a prototype that was used as a testing platform in limited quantities, but never officially made it into showroom cars. NASCAR, wary of manufacturers introducing cutting-edge technology that was unavailable to the average buyer, started cracking down on experimental engines. However, there is no concrete evidence of an official NASCAR ban specifically targeting the instead. What likely happened was a combination of corporate strategy and rule changes that prevented the engine from becoming the dominant force it was meant to be. Unlike the M motor, it's primarily designed as a street performance engine rather than an all-out racing motor. Did Chevrolet lie about horsepower? One of the most persistent myths surrounding the Porcupine engine is that Chevrolet intentionally underrated its horsepower figures. The LV version of the was officially rated at horsepower at RPM and pound-feet of torque at RPM, but insiders and DO tests suggest that it may have actually produced closer to horsepower, if not more. This wouldn't be the first time an automaker fudged its horsepower ratings. During the muscle car era, manufacturers frequently downplayed their engine's output for insurance and regulatory reasons. Higher advertised horsepower often meant higher insurance premiums for customers, so some manufacturers, including Chevrolet, strategically reported lower numbers. Additionally, General Motors had an internal policy that limited mid-sized cars to cubic in, meaning that a high output could have been downplayed to ensure compliance with corporate guidelines. While still delivering exceptional performance in real-world applications, the LP proved to be an absolute monster on the drag strip off and outperforming its official specs. It's no surprise then that enthusiasts believe Chevrolet was hiding the engine's true capabilities. The lechered and aggressive solid lifter camshaft toe compression rectangular ports in a Harley 4-barrel carburetor. It was marketed as the Turbojet and debuted in mid in the Corvette full-size Chevrolet like the Impala and select Chevelle SS models. In the Corvette-only units were equipped with the lacking it a rare and desirable option. The engine required additional features like a dude hood for clearance and mandatory upgrades such as a transistor ignition system and a 4-speed manual transmission. In the Chevelle SS-only units were built, further emphasizing its exclusivity. The remained in production until evolving over time, but retaining its reputation as one of Chevrolet's most powerful and collectible engines. Why the never reached its full potential? Despite its strong performance and promising technology, the Chevrolet never achieved the legendary status of its larger and big block siblings. Several factors contributed to this corporate decisions. General Motors, following its self-imposed ban on factory-backed racing, and prioritized production-friendly versions of the over-all-out racing variants. NASCAR's rules. NASCAR's homologation requirements favored engines already in mass production, limiting the competition use of experimental motors. The rise of the V, and as Chevrolet continued developing big block engines, the was gradually overshadowed, but not forgotten, the legacy of the Chevrolet Porcupine engine today. The Chevrolet is remembered as one of the most iconic engines of the muscle car era, while the mystery surrounding the banned Porcupine variant continues to intrigue enthusiasts. Its legacy lies in its contribution to Chevrolet's big block family, the technology pioneered in the paved the way for legendary engines that followed, and its reputation as a powerhouse remains unchallenged. So why does the matter today? Resurrection, because hidden in your neighbor's garage, your dad's Chevelle, or even GM's vaults, the Porcupine is still out there and is hungry next time we crack open Chevy's secret archives to expose the engine that rewrote history. Until then, keep your revs high and your valves sped. Until next time, this is